All right, what's up, everybody? Let's see if this is working. You never know. Who knows? I'm thinking that this. Oh, start with. There we go. There we go. And we'll just check and see if this is working. Working on it. Doesn't see any. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Should be ready to rock and roll. I'm just learning how to stream to like a billion places at the same time. You know how that goes. Let's take a look here. We got MULN. Okay. Hey, Sunrise Club Hot Sheet members, let me know that you can hear all right. And I'm sharing my screen. I think I'm doing this all correctly. I'm going to go full screen, just like let's rock and roll. And there we are. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I'm doing this correctly. All right. How's the audio today as well? I'm just using this like little headset thing, just to be like, I want to be a gamer. In another life, wanted to be a gamer. How's MULN? Well, MULN is down at the VWAP, so it's got to stay above that. Twitter. Now, for those of you wondering if you have a career in proprietary trading at JP Morgan, take a look at the chart for Twitter and tell me, what would a person who does merger arbitrage do? Well, what they would do is they would probably buy Twitter and then buy some super out of the money puts to hedge it, something inexpensive, so that they would stand to make more than $10 a share on the win. But if the merger crashes and burns and doesn't happen, they might spend, I don't know, $2 a share to buy some protection on the merger. So Elon said today that before he proceeded with the buyout, he wanted to see proof that only 5% of Twitter accounts are spam or bots, which is absolutely ridiculous, even if that number is correct. And then he said, no, I still want to buy it. And at this point, it seems unlikely that the deal would fall through, to me anyway. So, I mean, buying it at $34 on a crash pre-market seemed like a pretty smart thing to do. Anyway. All right. Where's like wish it was 2021 and wish old format back. What are you talking about, John? Tell me what you want. An old format. Old format for icebergs, like like the Discovery Channel, an iceberg, or what are we talking about? Because this seems a lot like the old format on. It seems like this is the old format, but I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Could be absolutely incorrect. And look at that. That's all working. That seems like it's working pretty well, actually. Okay, let's move on to other pre-market possibilities. PTE, polarity, seems like it found resistance at the pre-market high, which it hit a couple of times. Affirm, keep hearing this name. It's $25 a share. Very hard for me to get interested in a $25 stock pre-market, but it does look bullish. Let's see what the daily looks like. Okay, I moved that correctly. What does the daily look like? Looks terrible. But we still have a monthly pivot at 33. So how about that? It has fallen far enough that this is interesting. Does this really? No, it gets a negative return on investment. So forget that. Forget that. I mean, it could go to 30. But it's just, that's a tough one. Nile is also on my list, and Nile is interesting because it is above the VWAP. Definitely a high float, though. That's kind of a bummer. And then John says not good. I don't know what that means, but John, I'm here for you. I'm ready to rock and roll. Just like let me know. SoFi looks SoFi looks like it could start recovering, right? SoFi's down on the news that, Uncle Joe is going to forgive a bunch of people's debt. I got to tell you, if he does that, I'm going to lose my mind. Um, I find it more interesting to think about a million students just refusing to pay their loans. You know what they say? When you owe somebody $1,000, it's your problem. But when you owe somebody $1 billion, it's their problem. So um, I think it would be interesting. There was a time, like this is a long time ago, like 10 years ago, I was thinking about writing an ebook called Don't Pay Your Student Loans and then set a date at which everybody, like maybe 6 months from then, and it would be like Student Loan Freedom Day. And then, I don't know, a million people would sign a petition to not pay their student loans. And then it would be the bank's problems. And then the banks could sort out that bad debt instead of the government stepping in. Like if you really feel like taken advantage of, and listen, I know that some of you don't think that's the case, but I do feel like some people were sort of duped into and at that age can be very susceptible to it. Maybe we're duped into taking out loans for private colleges and online stuff and whatever. And then, if they want to protest it, that's fine. If you want to get together, that's fine. But if you want the government to step in and save you, I think I've had enough of the government stepping in and saving banks or people that take out loans and stuff like that. I think I've just had about enough of that. I think I'm ready for the government to stop telling us what we can and can't do and just get back to like, could we have some police and fire and education and some of those, like utility, water treatment, stuff like that. Could we do that? That would be fine. Thank you. We would all be, you know, yeah. And the banks will all, banks will all always, always, always. So what banks do is that let's say they make money for 30 years, and then in 1 month, they will give back they will basically lose all of the money that they have made. And there are very few exceptions to that. But you could see here, banks are already just getting ripped. All of them. They're all just getting absolutely annihilated. Regions. I've always been interested in this one. Regions. Even regions is, some of the regional banks even getting ripped up. Occidental Petroleum. Remember down here when I was waiting for the buy trade on a dip and it never did it? That was a bummer. That was just a real bummed out about that. So what is the turn? Yeah, so a lot of these stocks are now overpriced. A lot of these stocks that I really liked are now overpriced. Robinhood recovers. So FTX. Remember how I've said, your friendly neighborhood pre-market trading buddy, aka me. Remember when I said about 1,000 times that Robinhood is going to get acquired at some point in time? It looks like FTX is a possible suitor already. And it's not a surprise. Once Robinhood falls to these levels, listen, this is a bargain to some people. A $7 billion acquisition of 20 million customers costs you $7 billion for 20 million customers. Seems to me, it seems if you just roll FTX in there and you get some stock trading, you get some currency trading, you get some crypto trading. Yeah. So I think that Robinhood is a possible acquisition target. And it always starts like it did with Musk and Twitter. It starts with somebody buying a substantial percent of the company. And I think the FTX CEO, he bought like 7% of Robinhood. And, like I said, I think there's a lot of value in there. I own Robinhood at $11 a share. I don't know. We could check. We just look at it. We could just look at it. That's my call on Robinhood. I don't want to look at that. I sold calls against my shares. So I own 1,000 shares at $11. So anyway, even if my $12.50 calls get taken, and I have to give up those shares. I still make $1.50 a share, which is fine. I would like to make much more than that if possible. Okay, back to other stuff. Twitter up a bit. I think Twitter. Listen. This whole merger thing and Elon is just back and forth. But boy, will he have made himself some enemies if it doesn't go through? And he's lined up the financing. It seems to me maybe he tries to, make some news out of it back and forth. But this is typical of Elon. Says something to drop the price of Dogecoin, and then it drops, and then it rises back again after that. So it seems to me reasonable. I'm planning on buying some Twitter today, just because, right? Like it's probably likely to get back to $44. Probably get back to $44 today, actually. So I'm not opposed to owning some Twitter. I don't want to pay. I don't want to. I don't want to go. I don't want to buy like 1,000 shares at $40. That seems to me to be a little bit more risk than I'm comfortable doing. But I do think, a $4 gain is likely, get within $10 of the acquisition price. It's pretty wild that it's not already there. Uh, anywho, Veru is running. All right, let's go, Veru. Look at that. Veru is such an interesting one because Veru runs and then Veru crashes because Veru is pretty much worth nothing. And that doesn't mean it won't go up from time to time, especially since it's a lower-ish float. But $11.19 is a great pivot. Let's see if that lines up with anything else. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, between $10.84 and $11.20 seems reasonable. Yeah, let's do it. That's pretty nice. So for those of you watching at home, hello. Great to see you. Good to see you. Let's look at a couple other ones. So ITP gets talked about a lot online lately. RIBT. This is one. What's his face? Is it PJ Matlock? I think PJ Matlock from Atlas. He's all over this, and he tweets about this a few times a day. So this is one that's getting a lot of attention from the pump and dump crowd, or just the pump crowd. And you got a lot of people in here that are, the self-referential, hey, retweet you, I'll retweet you, and you retweet me, and we all talk about how this stock is going to $1, and then enough people get the tweet that they get all into it. So if you just take a look here. Let's just look at PJ Matlock. I don't want an NFT profile picture. That's stupid. I don't care about that. My Lamborghini Urus is on the way. Okay, that's fine. Have been to Portugal. Ugh, these people. Okay, RIBT, beautiful. I told you all, agricultural markets. RIBT, 60-cent break. Dollar, when I say I mean it. So you got this guy with his 338,000 followers, plus a bunch of other people talking it up. So I do own this, and all trading involves a substantial risk of loss, and that's not a trade recommendation. And I'm just here to show you what I'm doing, and then you make your own decisions. It's got a float of 50 million shares. It's very unlikely that my 400 shares are moving the market. It's unlikely that all of us together could even move the market. But listen, there are some reasons that they like this stock. So once again, it's not enough to just say I like it because other people like it. So here's some global corn production is forecast down, wheat production forecast down, and so RIBT, we'll just look it up here, Yahoo Finance, RIBT, Rice Bran Technologies. Does that tell you everything you want to know about it? Together with its subsidiaries, operates a specialty ingredient company, focuses on producing, processing, marketing of value-added, healthy, natural, nutrient-dense products from rice and other small grains. So, food. This is like food inflation is real. It's a neat idea here. So it's not just buying a stock because other people are buying it. It's buying a stock because commodities, especially like food and energy related commodities, are expensive and seem like that trend isn't going anywhere. So I like it. I like the idea that this I like the idea that this could move. So all right. Anyway, let's go back to Veru. And I'll put Veru on the list here. A lot of you, I think, have traded or seen us trade Veru before. So Vero at 1049 seems kind of expensive and kind of far away from the stop. But if you do it, 1084 is probably next, and then after that is 1120. I don't have a trade on this. I do think there are Veru options though, aren't there? Yeah. Well, I'll be buying some puts on Veru today. And some of us did trade the puts. So not a fan of the calls or buying the stock today. I already missed it. Not opposed to it, but I do like to short this because the company doesn't make any money. And it's pretty expensive. Price to book, it's pretty expensive, especially for a company that doesn't make money. So yeah, it's perfectly reasonable to do some speculation if that's what you like to do. What am I supposed to say again? Like a million times? Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Don't trade at all. Maybe this is entertainment and information. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm saying it just in this tone of voice because I've said it so many times. It seems unreasonable that you would not already know this. But like I said, also there's nothing for sale here. You don't need to sign up for anything. I don't care if you buy anything from me at all, and not here to sell you anything. I'm also not here to claim that I'm a better trader than anybody in particular. And I think we did look at my old, we looked at my accounts. I think I could actually pull those up. The old Tasty Works. I think the April statements are up, so we could. Yeah, they are. Look at that. There we go. So you could just see here. I mean, my account number's on there. My old address. Don't go to that address. I don't think anybody there at that house would be excited to see you. Anyway, so this is I think the opening the opening balance was 3,100, closing balance was 4,000, and then there's just a bunch of trades on. What do we have here? The BITO trade, the gold trade, the UNG trade, the VNQ trade. That was a neat trade. LGVN, Hoth, Iveda Solutions, UVXY, ATER, Apple, UVXY, ATER, Apple, ATER. Did a bunch of ATER trades. Valen Pharmaceuticals, VNQ put, UVXY, BITO, and then just the same stuff over in CMCA. I did that. I did Comcast, and I did the DWAC trade. I finally closed that at a loss. So that actually, I lost money on that. Otherwise, the month was pretty good. That's my statement. So like I said, I'm not here to tell you I'm better at trading than anybody or try to sell you anything or anything like that. I do like the idea that the merger is going to go through. If I could trade options pre-market, which you cannot do, I would probably trade Twitter. I would probably buy some calls that expire in May, the May 20th call. So I guess next week, I would probably buy those calls, and they would probably be more expensive than I'm willing to pay. So it's possible I wouldn't even do it. Hang with family some Friday night long, made a bunch of money on this with puts. Thomas got some puts on ATER, NKTX. Most likely to go up there and fall back. Link to update Telegram so I can get in the video chat. I don't know how to update Telegram, Marcinko, but you can go to my YouTube channel and probably find me. Go going live there as well, and on Facebook. I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible these last couple of days. Veru had very bad earnings yesterday, but the price go ups. It's so true. It's so weird how these stocks will report bad earnings and then go up or whatever. I find that to be not only interesting but instructive. That buy the news, sell the fact, or sell the fact, or sell the news, buy the rumor, whatever. But now it's like sell the rumor, buy the fact. I don't know. I think Veru's probably going to 1084. That's probably where it's going to. Don't quote me on that. You want to stop out always below the VWAP. Anything lower than that, and you're just sort of setting yourself up for a bigger loss. I can't emphasize it enough. Cutting your losses will do wonders for you. I think you already know that, right? You probably already know that. Shorts are taking profit on Veru. Yes, I agree with that. And then once it gets up maybe into the 11s, what a nice trade that'll be to buy some puts, perhaps. A lot of room for that to fall. And I love it when these pretty much worthless companies, I love it when these companies jump up here like this. It's like a gift. And they have options. That makes it so easy to do. So, I mean, let's look at it. Does this company make money? The answer is, let's see. Let's find out. Negative 26% profit margin, negative 18% operating margin, negative return on assets, negative return on equity. Quarterly revenue growth is down. Earnings before interest, blah, 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 negative 11 million. Net income, negative 16 million. So even though it says gross profit, that doesn't get, they don't get to have that money. In fact, you can see they don't get to have that money. Negative cash flow, negative levered free cash flow. Short percentage of float, 22%. That's kind of high. So you can see that the shorts, sometimes get squeezed, as I like to say. Excuse me. So there you have it. JP watched the Forex videos on YouTube and had a good time. Nice to see. So got somebody from Cameroon here. Hey, welcome. Hey, Andrew Palladino. Ciao, buddy. If you're doing programming, Andrew, I do have somebody that had a programming job. And I don't know what their specifications are, but anyway, it's nice to see you, man. Anyway, Veru, like I said, even if it does go up, likely to come back down, likely to come crashing back down, of course. And if you're enjoying the videos, like I did this live. I used this little software thing to go live on Facebook at the same time yesterday, and it's pretty fun. Let's see here. The big dip. Twitter bargain, and then we'll just save that, and then we'll show it. Look at that. Get to have a little banner at the bottom, but a bunch of people watch it on Facebook. I was surprised at how many people watched it on Facebook, and I was surprised at how many of the folks on YouTube watched it as well. And I was like, hey, maybe this is the thing. Maybe just go live, pre-market every once in a while and just have a great time together and, chat room it up, people. Oh, yeah. And then I can't remember where I put the little email list thing, but here, we'll just post that link again. Smart pages, promote the smart page, copy that link, and just drop. Oh, look at Veru go. So sendfox.com, Rob Booker. There you go. Sign up for the email. Don't sign up for the email. Do it or don't do it. Whatever. It's fine. That email list never sells anything at all. So you will never get an email from that list that says things like, did you know you could have missed out on gains of, doesn't ever, never. It's all just information and meant to build some goodwill and reestablish some trust and cut through the endless stream of promotional emails and give you some goodwill. And listen, anytime I send an email about what Lance is up to, I hope you follow it. Lance is great. Anytime I send you an email about what Jeffrey's up to, I hope you follow it. Jeffrey's just amazing and has been so good to people. So anyway, like I said, but I know you get tired of the emails that are constantly coming out that tell you the next latest and greatest thing that has never happened before. I know that this annoys you. And it's nice to have break that up a little bit. So that's why I created that email list. Okay, 11:20 is next. It's not a big surprise. Veru is moving. It was not my pick of the day. My pick of the day, in fact, was MULN, which is not going anywhere. So that might bounce off the VWAP. So I'm not done with that one. 11:20 is next on Veru, but my levels here are not mattering. Those don't matter. So where is Veru going? 11:04. That's where it's going. It's going to where it is right now. So I don't know how we get that. There we go. That's where we want the fib levels. So there you have it. I would not be surprised if this is it. Of course, it can continue. We've only got 700,000 shares of volume per candle, and it's a 64 million share float. So don't get all cocky about Veru today. If it breaks 1116, then sure, let it rip to 1165, which is this old level of pre-market high or whatever. I mean, let it go, as Elsa would say. Froze it up, baby. So this is, once again, this company loses money, does not have free cash flow. We forgot to look at what kind of debt this company has. Let's look at that. I mean, because if they also on top of this have a bunch of debt, then that's even worse. 14 million in debt. Okay. Total cash is 116 million, and they have 14 million in debt. So they do have a pretty great current ratio. That means they have $10 of cash for every $1 of short-term debt. That's pretty healthy. That's actually that would be in the top percentile ranking. So they're not in danger of defaulting on their debt or whatever. I wonder what the dilution concern here would be. Does this stock have run the risk of offering ability is high, overall risk is low? No, they're probably not going to dilute. Okay, we've got that working in its favor as well. So no wonder it is able to jump a bit. No wonder it's able to do that. So yeah, John Monaco, good morning. So unfortunately, that timer is not a link to anything. It's just a timer, just to say that we were counting down. But anywho, how's everybody else doing here? Let me just check out. I love that I could see the chat. What happened to the office? I just don't need to be in the office. So the office that we had, the really big one, we were subleasing from a bankrupt oil company, and then oil went through the roof, and then another company came in and wanted that space, and they were willing to spend, I think it was like $36,000 a month for that office. So there's no way we're going to bid on that. So we have a space over at WeWork as well when we want to do some filming and stuff. But as you have seen, nobody cares if I appear in anybody's videos anymore. So I don't get it. It's not necessary because nobody, it's like literally. So I just don't go over there as much because there's no reason. I don't even have a video person anymore. So it's just me. So why not just sit here and, in the comfort of my own home? Makes it easy to do. I do love WeWork though. As a company, I just love that company. I know. Let's see how badly WeWork is doing. I love this company. This is actually kind of looking bullish, right? So negative return on investment. Everything's negative about WeWork, but let's look and see how bad the the debt situation is at WeWork. I love the people that work at WeWork, the people who welcome you there. I mean, it's just such a great. Okay, profit margin is negative 172. Quarterly revenue growth is up. Negative earnings. Total cash $900 million. They have a current ratio under 0.69, and they have negative cash flow. Oh, this makes me sad. I love the company. I really hope it survives. It's so cool that you can go to any city in America and drop in with a membership that's like $300 a month or less even, and drop in and work. Okay, Veru, when it makes a double body top like it's making right now, I lose all confidence that the move continues. Now, it could drop to the VWAP and then continue, but I find that to be hard to believe. MULN, it's below the VWAP, so it just blows. I gotta make sure everybody knows. Got to cut that loss when it does that. Don't apologize for honesty and being really first, in my opinion, to be transparent. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm not necessarily being the first or only, but John, I am tired of an industry that gets it backwards. Here's how it should work. It should work where it's give, 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 ask. It should work like that, or give, 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 ask, instead of ask, 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 and then every once in a while give. I should be overwhelming you with content that's helpful, informational, and then every once in a while say I've got something that you might like, and then make it absolutely astoundingly affordable. And so it's just easy to say yes to it. And that's how it should work. That's how, and listen, people are entitled to reasonable differences of opinion about the way things should work. And it doesn't make anybody evil or bad, or just having a difference of opinion. We live in a world where having a different opinion gets people into fights, but it shouldn't be like that. It's just my view of things. And, I have been inspired over the years by starting with like Seth Godin and Permission Marketing, which is maybe the best book about marketing ever written. And then, leading into, Tom Peters, one of the best ever. And then, of course, Gary Vee, right? Jab, 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 right hook. That is the title of the book is one of the greatest marketing principles of all time. So MULN, I hope you can recover. That would be great. Veru is bouncing here, and that's awesome. If it breaks $11.16 or $11.15, $11.14, that would be absolutely beautiful. That would just be beautiful. That would be a continuation. I can't emphasize this enough, and I'm not asking you to follow me into a trade, and all trading involves a substantial risk of loss, and you don't need to buy anything, and I may just watch it and not do anything at all. But I do plan on buying puts on Veru today. I do plan on that. And I'm planning on doing it because the company doesn't make any money. And that's generally not good for a company. And it doesn't have any cash flow, not good for a company. It does have a lot of cash on hand, which is a very positive thing. Doesn't need cash right now. So if they've got some kind of trick up their sleeve about how they're going to pull out of this, and they've got some giant product announcement, let's see what this company even does. Oncology biopharmaceutical company focuses on developing medicine for the management of cancers. No wonder they're not making money, because they're developing stuff, commercial products. Okay, transmission of this, I'm down for everything this company does, and I root for their success. Now I don't even like betting against them. I just feel like that's sad. That's just mean, but it's the way things work. Capital flows to the companies that make money, and it flows out of the companies that lose money. So I hope they're successful in their mission, and I will be reading more about that. I do remember my old friend Lou Bassanese. I might check in with Lou and ask him what he knows about it, because he's way into that. He actually has like his ear to the ground on these biopharmaceutical companies, and he's always watching them. He's called some of these really early, so that might be interesting to check in with him. Twitter, once again, I might buy just 10 shares of Twitter. And then if it goes $4, make, $40 or whatever if it goes up. And if it goes down, my stop would be a $2 stop. Now that's not bad, but I don't think I have enough margin in my little account to do that right now. We could check. Let's just check. I just want the stock. Yeah, right. 100. Nope. I'm just trying extended hours. I don't know if I have. Well, okay. I might own some Twitter in a minute here. We'll see. I'll show you everything I have going on in the account here. So this is my little small account. Um, I own some BBIG as a swing. I own some gold calls, and I basically just kind of keep buying calls that are 2 months out, and then every month around the expiration, buy more calls that are 2 months out, and I buy them pretty far out of the money so that they're not expensive, and it's basically gold hasn't made an inflation-based move as of yet. It may never make that move. I own some ITP on a swing. I own some RIBT on a swing. Twitter, we just talked about that. And then I own some VRAR on a swing. And those are all sort of companies that VRAR is like a leader in virtual reality, augmented reality. I'd like the company fundamentally speaking. And then the rest of them are speculative swings, not all of which I will keep, and some of which I will dump off. But that little account is mainly for taking sort of out of the money bets. I hate to use the word bet, but it's sort of like foreseeable yet unlikely events. Those are not black swans. So they're foreseeable yet unlikely. And because they are unlikely, they pay pretty well. Let's just give you an example of this for those of you that were not following my free webinar series. So gold has been dropping despite the fact that inflation is real. And eventually, gold does make a move based on it. It might be very small and it might be very big, but probably gold doesn't go down forever. Let's just put it that way. And what I've bought are gold call options that are pretty far out of the money, in most cases $10 out of the money on GLD or more, and I buy them with a 2-month expiration. If those calls end up working out, they pay really, really great if gold spikes. And you can see here, gold does go through some runs where 3-4 days in a row it can jump $5, $6, $7, and that will turn one very inexpensive trade into something that returns 20 to 1, 30 to 1, 50 to 1. I really look for 100 to 1 if I can, and that's just not always possible. On the VNQ trade, for example, we just couldn't find a risk to reward that was going to be bigger than like 20 to 1. And we got really, really, really lucky on that. I don't know why I got my timing so right on that. I'm usually pretty off on the timing and right on the direction. SoFi just moving on up. I love it. I own SoFi. I own a bunch of SoFi, as you can see here. This is my long-term. Wow, I have SoFi calls at 7. I should probably get rid of those today. So I own 1,000 shares of SoFi at $9.34. Total return on that's negative 3,000. I plan on holding SoFi for a long time. So today's return 0, market value negative 10. Current price is negative penny. That's wild. I got 15 cents for those. So I might try to just dump those in case SoFi goes on a bit of a run. I might try to get rid of those once the market opens today. We'll see what I can get for them and maybe close that out. I was going for some premium. They expired today. So SoFi's going to really have to jump. Yeah, those are the Anyway, okay. SoFi $7 calls. SoFi's gonna really have to move in order to whatever. Okay, let's see what the market does when it opens. We'll check out Veru. We'll check out Twitter. Veru is just doing great. So it broke the $11 and 15, 14, 16, whatever it was cent range. It's probably on the way to 11.50. I would say 11.65 now. Ratio leap spread with calls on GLD and XLE. John, I would be very interested to know what a ratio leap spread is. And I'm going to Google it first to do my own homework. So let's see here. Ratio leap spread option. Okay, I'm gonna do my own homework first, and then I'm gonna ask questions based on what I read. But that sounds interesting, and I love what you do, John. I love your approach to things. South Carolina, baby. From Dixon, California. It's good to watch you again. Nice. So, Derek, did I answer that question about the office? That doesn't mean we won't get together. We should put a poll up somewhere. Who would come out and visit me if I grabbed a place for us all to meet together and trade for a couple of days? Who would like to attend? Just like what, $10? Put $10 in a pot, and then we just get a giant room leased out, for a couple of days. Something like that. Oh, look at that, 11.65. So the market is open. Let's see what Twitter does. Twitter. I don't think my trade opened. Oh, it did. It did. All right. And let's see where my SoFi situation is. Total return, today's return. So I think I can dump this. Buy to close. I have 10. Buy them back at 3 cents just to get out of this. Get my $120. Yeah. Oh, done. Okay. Then I'm not exposing myself to any problems if so. Well, look at that. So that's great. Glad I did that. Good. Excellent. Not exposing myself to any issues if SoFi really runs. Veru is right at the profit target. So congratulations to those of you that got a piece of that. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. MULN, no. Nope. Okay, let's look at the other ones I have. I have RIBT, not going anywhere with that. ITP, that's a swing. I don't mind having that. VRAR, both me and my friend Paul kind of like that. But that one's not paying me. So that one might have to go. And then I'm kind of just a every once in a while fan of BBIG. Not today. BBIG, I might close you. I might just dump that off. Okay. Just love the heck out of all of you. Thanks for watching. If you were here on the old, if you were here on Twitter, thanks for being here. And if you were here on Facebook, you could leave a little comment below the video. And if you were here on YouTube, thanks for subscribing and watching. And of course, for those of you in the Hot Sheet Trade Room and the Sunrise Club, thanks for letting me do an open house a couple days in a row and invite people to sort of see us and hear us and come along for the ride. Thanks for being here, everybody. I love you all. I will see you again Monday.